Wonderstone.
And I'm Anton Marbleton. But of course, you already knew that.
It's off to Las Vegas in the company of the incredible Burt Wonderstone and his bulging bag of tricks. Don Scardino's ritzy, glitzy comedy stars Steve Carell, Jim Carrey and Steve Buscemi. And yet, sad to say, Burt's hitherto charmed life is about to turn to ashes.
They're calling him the future of magic.
This guy's a magician. He doesn't even have a costume.
I'm sure you've seen people walk on red-hot coals, but I doubt you've seen anyone spend the night on red-hot coals.
Peter, we've had Oz the Great and Powerful, and now the Incredible Burt Wonderstone.
Incredible Burt Wonderstone.
Is this false advertising?
It's a little bit false. I found this quite enjoyable. It's one of those movies which you think, well, I wouldn't go and see it in the cinema, but get it on DVD because it's kind of funny. It's pretty funny. It's one of those movies, like every comedy we're shown, all the funny stuff is in the opening 15 minutes. The funny stuff is the premise, the idea, the kind of sketch comedy idea. Once the story kicks in, you have to work things out and it becomes sentimental. You could devise a software for writing this kind of screenplay, right down to something which I think has become a real stereotype, a real cliche now, which is the prologue, the ironic, nostalgic 1980s childhood prologue, where the hero is subjected to beating up, sometimes anti-Semitic beating up, and that I seem to have seen that in so many movies now. I think that's kind of running out of steam. But what can I say? It is funny. It is funny. All that it wants to do is sort of be funny. And it's got a nice scene stealer of a turn from Alan Arkin as the aging magician who is his kind of mentor. There's not much more to say about it, to be honest with you.
Henry, is Peter selling it to you?
I'm not so sure. I'd go and I'd go and see this to see what Jim Carrey can conjure up. I think really because it's interesting that he used to be like a megastar of feature film comedy, and now he's almost a supporting turn to Steve Carell and even Steve Buscemi. Who would have thought it? Because Carrey's gone
Boardwalk Empire factor, isn't it? Buscemi's kind of come up with
he's
it.
kind of bumped up a bit. But Carrey's had this strange career where he tried to do serious with Eternal Sunshine and Spot the Smile. I thought he was fantastic in that.
Very good actor.
And then
really
he did Yes Man, which was huge at the box office in the US, but was just not funny. And it was less of his rubber face antics and more just kind of straight-jacketed on rails comedy. And so a part like this, you'd think was made for him, but made for him 15 years ago.
Well, isn't that the issue that he's contending with now? That he was the kind of wild and crazy guy in his 30s, but now I guess he's kind of mid-40s, pushing 50.
And he's doing the Dumb and Dumber sequel as well, and you just think, what's next? The Mask 3? It's a bit sad, really. I'd like him to see him to do more kind of dramatic stuff, like
more
Eternal
straight
Sunshine.
stuff like Eternal Sunshine. That would have been better. I'm a little bit agnostic about how funny Steve Buscemi is, to be honest with you. He's been such a solid turn, and he's very much admired. I think he's a bit like John C. Reilly in a way, who could in theory have played this role. He can, as a straight actor, he can play funny, but I don't think he's funny in his heart. He hasn't got funny bones for me. Steve Carell has. He's funny, and he has that kind of weirdness that funny actors have.
Buscemi's kind of actor's studio, isn't he? He's kind of serious craftsman.
Yeah, he's a very serious craftsman, and he can fabricate it for the benefit of a comedy. Whereas Steve Carell is doing it naturally, and of course Jim Carrey, I think, is doing it naturally. Whereas Buscemi, like John C. Reilly, he can do it, but I don't think it's in his heart.
If I'd known how much fun it would be to work with a partner, I would have done it years ago. Time for my final disappearing act. Goodbye, Bert.
Where did he go? He has gone to a better place. Goodbye, Rance.
He's under the bed.
I know.